Now we can record. Yay! All right. See, if I'm challenged, you guys can be challenged too and figure it out, right? All right. So this is the continuing education, the 28th day of January. And I am going to mute everybody. And so if there's something that you want to say, you'll have to unmute yourself. Okay. All right. So we're going to talk about respiratory and immune support. And I think one of the things that really I want to talk about this because I think it's so important right now because we have the measles have shown up here in the Pacific Northwest. It's in a few other places too. And so I have a lot of thoughts about that. Part of my thoughts is, yes, most of us have been or have had our measles shots way back when. You know, I'm 60, soon. And I know I had it. I had inoculation. I know that many, countless others. That's why we've eradicated really the measles. Now, why is it coming back all of a sudden, right? I think it's a lot like our respiratory that we get into, like the flu. There are different strains. And so I think after all the people that come into the United States or us in the United States that are not inoculated, I think that becomes a way for the measles strain to actually create a new way around all of us that have been inoculated. But I think the ones that are being affected have never gotten their shots, but some of them already have, and it hits everybody. So how do we build our immune system naturally? And how can we help this time of year with respiratory support? Because I don't know what it's like where you are, but here in the Northwest, it's been just this gloomy, foggy skies lately. And it's just, there's no vitamin D coming in at all. We don't see the sun, period. That's hard on our bodies because vitamin D is really super important for us to absorb nutrients. And so if we don't have that, we have to really think about how else are we going to get that. Are you taking supplements to get some vitamin D? Are you taking a vitamin D supplement? If you have to, there's a supplement I really super like, and that is doTERRA's Lifelong Vitality. That's a great thing. And I think that, you know, and for doTERRA, I educate a lot about doTERRA's essential oils because I want people to understand what essential oils are really all about, but I trust the purity and potency of doTERRA. But doTERRA's #1 product really is Lifelong Vitality, which is a supplement pack that if you've not looked into it before, I suggest that maybe you do. And I apologize, I have a puppy. We have a new puppy, and let's see if I can get him on my lap so he doesn't want to do the barking thing. He has a very loud screech, not a bark. So anyway, if we are looking to our foods that we eat, the vitamin D that we take in, and other supplements so that the body can absorb the nutrients to boost our immune system, and in turn boost our digestive system, which when we have respiratory issues, sometimes that all ties together. And if you are one of those seasonal sufferers, then this is the time to think about putting things into your body so that you're ahead of the game when your body needs it instead of waiting until after the fact. Okay. So, all right. Let's talk about, in our immune system, are you getting enough rest? Are you drinking enough liquids? And we should be drinking half of our body weight in ounces for liquids all day long. Most of us are probably not drinking enough liquids like water, because our body really needs that to help flush things out. And so when we get sick, it's really important to drink a lot of liquids so that we flush out everything that's going on. And so for the body and the ability to flush through the liver and get rid of whatever's going on in our system, water is super important. Now, there are many foods that we can talk about that will help boost our immune system, and let's talk about those. So for colds, the flu, things like that, doTERRA has many, many different products. But on the food level, what we look for is like garlic, onion, citrus fruits like oranges. A lot of us, most of us know about oranges, and legumes. And then also soy. They all stimulate your immune system. And that's what we want to do. So what we'll do is shorten the duration of a cold or the flu. Now, essential oils have the ability to do that as well. How do they do that? So we know that we're eating, and the other thing about that is to reduce the amount of fats that we're taking in. So if we're eating foods that are high in fat, then we are not, it's not helping us. Our body isn't running efficiently when we have too much fats. We're bringing in too much fats, okay? And so we want to boost the effectiveness of the immune system by reducing the amount of fat. So like the biggest thing when we're sick is chicken noodle soup, right? Well, the chicken noodle soup that we have nowadays that's in a can is really good, but may not have all the antioxidants and the properties that our grandmother's chicken noodle soup had when we were growing up, right? Because it was homemade. If you wanted chicken stock, you had to cook the chicken or boil the chicken and get chicken stock. And so you're getting all the really good nutrition that comes from that. Kind of like bone broth. Bone broth is phenomenal for helping boost our body's immune system. But getting good bone broth is making it yourself. But who has the time to do that anymore? Most of us are so busy going here, there, and everywhere that we don't take the time to do those things. Find somebody in your area that has and makes bone broth. And so keep it on hand, because you can use that when you are ill. And this way it'll help in what you do make. You can make your own chicken noodle soup. You don't have to pour it from a can. And it'll help boost that immune system and make it more efficient. Now, doTERRA has plenty of products, again, that will help boost the immune system. And how essential oils work in your system is, first off, essential oils you can have a benefit within 30 seconds. By either smelling it, just simply smelling it aromatically, putting it on you, or putting it in a capsule and taking it internally, or for those that aren't meant for internal consumption, you can put it in juice, you can put it in water, you can put it in a smoothie, however way you want to ingest it. Now, doTERRA makes it easy to know if it is ingestible, because there's a supplement fact on the bottle. It actually will tell you to dilute 1 drop in 4 fluid ounces of liquid. That's important. So always read a label on an essential oil, because it will tell you whether or not you can ingest it or not. If it's ingestible, it's because it meets the GRAS standard of the FDA, which means that it's generally regarded as safe for consumption, okay? But doTERRA is very pure, very potent. So by that means, 1 drop does go a long way. So one thing that I like is the On Guard. On Guard, there are many, many studies out there that say and that prove that On Guard is really, really good for your immune system. And On Guard is our protecting blend, and this is what it is. This is what it looks like. And so it contains like clove, orange, cinnamon, and what else do I want to say? It's got eucalyptus, it's got rosemary, it's got some really great properties. In fact, over the weekend, I met somebody that I've never met before. I was at a Toastmasters event, and they were talking about rosemary and how rosemary is very beneficial for the immune system. And I was like, that's awesome. So it kind of brought up the conversation, right? So again, they're talking about the herb, not the essential oil. And so think about what it is that you're putting into your foods as well when you do eat less fat and more herbs or more essential oils. Now, when they are essential oils, when you put them on you, when you smell them, it gets within every cell within 30 minutes. So what it can do and is like if you have a balloon, okay, and you fill it up with air, and so let's say that's your cell, right? And then on the outside of it, let's put a bunch of mayonnaise on it, okay? I think all of you can probably picture that. Here's a balloon with a bunch of mayonnaise on it. That mayonnaise represents bacteria growth on a cell, okay? So what essential oils have the properties to do is clean up all those receptor sites on the outside of the cell. So they clean up all that, they eat it up. They eat up all of that mayonnaise that's on that balloon, okay? Now what happens with a virus, viruses live inside a cell. So a lot of medications do not penetrate inside a cell. So that's why when you're sick, you go to the doctor and you have a viral infection, they can't treat that with medication because medication cannot penetrate inside a cell. So that's why if you have bacterial, if it's bacterial, no problem. But if it's viral, it's a little bit difficult to do that. So what essential oils can do is they actually they penetrate that cell wall to get inside the cell so that they inhibit the growth of the virus. And so there again, it reduces the duration of you being ill. Now, using essential oils doesn't mean you'll never get sick, but it is a huge benefit for everyday use so that you can build up your immune system. I love On Guard in many different ways. We have the oil. We have a beadlet. I love this because it's easy for when I'm traveling. And they're just little teeny tiny beadlets. They're like a mint, I would say. And they're teeny tiny, very tiny. And just take a couple of those and off you go, off to the races, right? But another thing is how often are you washing your hands? That's a really important one. I see a lot of doctors' offices, I see a lot of medical places that I go to, and they're consistently using hand sanitizer. They don't wash their hands. And it's like, when did we stop washing our hands? Yes, we have that nice stuff at the office, but it's an alcohol base. What does rubbing alcohol do? It dries out your skin, typically. What else does it do? The other thing it is helping deplete your immune system. This is another part of On Guard that I like, is because On Guard comes in a hand sanitizer. It's called hand sanitizing mist. And you just spray it on, rub it around. Not only do I get the benefit of a hand sanitizer, it smells delicious. Okay, and that delicious, I just love the smell of it. I love the clove and the cinnamon. This is not for internal use. I know some people that have done that, and it's like, try not to do that. Okay, it's not meant for that. Now, they had a sore throat, and this is what they use. Yes, On Guard oil is good for sore throats. Okay, you can make a spray with just water and On Guard in a little spray bottle. Super easy for a sore throat. Or if you're like me and you can tolerate it, you just take the lid off and then put it down your throat. Okay, I'm not going to do that right now because it'll keep me from talking for a second or two. And I'll need water, and I don't have any right here. So I've done that many times where I've woke up with a sore throat, and I take a couple of drops of On Guard and directly down my throat. Now try not to get it on your tongue, because if you get it on your tongue, it has clove in it. Clove is very numbing. Clove is used in the dental field for your dry sockets and your, if you have infection, clove is really good for that, and by mouth, orally. And I came from the dental world after 30 years, so yes, I never really understood what the clove was all about, just knowing that clove was in products for dental issues, right? Now I have the real thing, and I actually take it with me to the dentist if I have to have like a filling or a filling that needs to be replaced. I don't use their topical applications that they use. I use clove because it's natural and it's numbing. And I like natural approaches, and they have no problem with that. Now, what are some of the other things for immune support besides foods? Reducing our fat intake. You also want to increase your vitamin C. Now, in today's world, there's tons of ways of getting vitamin C. Now, you don't want to overdo the vitamin C, because if you do, you might not like it so much when you go to the bathroom because it's very acidic. 2,000 to 4,000 milligrams of vitamin C. Now, that's a lot. Essential oils do have a benefit to that. They have the monoterpenes, but they evaporate very quickly. So if you're thinking about vitamin C, there are vitamin C packets, and you could just drink a glass of orange juice every day or twice a day. You decide what you want to do. And I knew a dentist a long time ago that insisted that you have at least 2,000 milligrams of vitamin C every day. That would boost your immune system. Okay. The other things that help with boosting your immune system is think about your emotions at the time that you do get ill. Have you been not sleeping? Have you been eating weirdly? What is your diet? What's your diet been like? What are your experiences during that time period? Why did you get sick? What created your immune system to be a little bit off par so that all of a sudden everything grabs you? Okay. And the reason I ask that is because we don't realize how important emotions are with physical issues. And for On Guard itself, On Guard being our protective blend, the negative emotions that it goes with are feeling attacked, feeling irritable, and feeling guarded. Okay, so what we want, unprotected and controlled. Unprotected, controlled, and anxious, or attacked. And so when you think about that, those negative emotions, think about where you've been, where's your mindset at the time, because that really does control the immune system. I know it sounds really wishy-washy, but it's true. So when we start using essential oils to battle, combat that negative energy, we want to go over to the positive side, right? So the positive side then is being protected, right? What are we being protected from? And being very capable in what we do and being independent. And if any of those relate to you, then think about using the On Guard essential oil. And there's other things too that doTERRA has, and you can always go to doTERRA.com and look, but they also have these great protecting throat drops. And it's like a cough drop. And I have a couple that's really, what is that? What is that? So they're very, just the regular cough drop, or I shouldn't say regular because they're totally different than a normal cough drop. And I don't call it a cough drop because you're helping boost your immune system. If you've got that sore throat, those are awesome to have. So now let's look at respiratory. So the respiratory, there's plenty of products there again. And again, what are we doing for the respiratory issue? And what are we eating? Are we not eating? Where have we been? Who have we been around? And if you're one of those that when you go shopping, or if you're in a state that where you have to pump your own gas, it's like, who handled that last time? What germs are you picking up every single day that you don't know of? What is in the air that you're picking up every single day? And that's the same with our immune system. What are we picking up every single day that we go out and about? And the same with our homes is because in the wintertime, typically we do not open up our windows and our doors because it's cold, right? And so we have this stagnant air in our homes that should be replenished. Now, newer homes usually have a system that takes out old air and brings in good air. Okay, that's great if you have that. If not, then figure out a plan on how you can open up those doors or a window for, even if it's just 10 minutes. I know some sub-zero temperatures, you wouldn't want to do that. I don't suggest that. Please don't do that. But it's very effective for us to be able to get out that stagnant air. But essential oils have a benefit to that when you diffuse them in your house, because it actually kills the pathogens that are lingering around in our homes. And sometimes if one person gets sick, then all of a sudden everybody else has got it, right? And then you kind of get over it, and then everybody's sick again, and then you kind of get over it, and everybody's sick again. So if we think about the problem of stagnant air, let's get rid of it. Let's eliminate that. If you can't open your windows and doors, get a diffuser. Everybody has diffusers these days. I had someone ask me, what's the best diffuser you could get out there? And I looked at them, I said, sky's the limit, because you can spend $5 all the way up to hundreds of dollars for what it is that you want. You really have to look at that. I use a water diffuser, so it's an ultrasonic water bath that you put your essential oils in. Those are the best ones, because you're also putting moisture into the air. And you're helping with fragrance. You're not just putting a fragrance in your home, you're helping clear up pathogens. So go out there and find it. Penny's, Sears, Hobby Lobby, whatever you've got, go look. I'm sure they have one. Does it meet what you want? Does it have a light? Do you have options of how much time you want it on? Do you want it on consistently? Do you want it to be 12 hours? Do you want it to be 4 hours? What do you want it to look like? There are ones that look like whales. There are ones that look like a steaming bowl that's very decorative. And it's like, what do you want it to look like, and how much money do you want to spend? Okay. Sometimes when you purchase something that's not so much money, less expensive, doesn't work or doesn't last as long. Okay. So if you know someone you can talk to, find out whether or not, hey, have you ever used a diffuser? What's your best one? And who can you go to? Green Air has some really good quality items for diffusing. So now respiratory itself, we have a product called Breathe, and I love this. And so Breathe has your laurel leaf, it has peppermint, eucalyptus, it has melaleuca, it has lemon, and also has cardamom. Cardamom is great spice, but it's for us in essential oils, it's great as a respiratory support, even if you use that on its own. Now, Breathe itself is not for internal consumption, but you can get things like this that are throat drops. Now, I cannot use these because of the eucalyptus. I mean, these are really powerful. Only when I'm super, super sick with sinus issues, my head itself congested, these are awesome. I'll tell you, these are really good. But for normally, they're way too much for me. It may not be for you, but they're a lot for me. We also have what we call the Breathe stick. So this is like a Vicks vapor stick. This one it's pretty much gone. Smells good. But this is something I've used even on infants because I swipe it on their feet. So if they have a respiratory issue going on and you feel that essential oils are just a little bit too much for them, well, this has essential oils in it. Same thing, but it's blended with oils and you know, the other parts of it. So it's not as concentrated. It's concentrated, but it's not as bad as just one drop of essential oil. So instead of having one drop, there's several in here, right? So it has to be, it's what I want to say. I lost. You get the benefits of the essential oil, but you're adding into that so that you stretch it, okay? And so this is a really good product. Plus it comes, plus On Guard and the Breathe also come in a roller blend, and it's called the Touch. So anything with the word touch on it, if you ever go to doTERRA.com, it is, the touch means that it has been mixed with fractionated coconut oil already, okay? All right. And when it comes to the respiratory blend, think about your immune system, but think about your emotions there also. The negative emotions with respiratory issues is unloved, sadness, constricted, and grief. Those are big words, right? So when we want to look at the positive side, is we want to be loved, we want to be cared for, we want to be able to receive, okay? People give, you want to be open to receive. And then we want solace. We want to, instead of being grieving, we want to be accepting. So it's amazing what you look at the emotions. That is an important thing. Now, if you know somebody that is asthmatic, into that, here comes that seasonal part of the time of the part of the year, you simply either take the lid off and simply breathe. But another way to do that, and you have to take several deep breaths, okay, especially if someone's asthmatic. But if they're having a panic attack, same thing. Or if they have an inhaler, can't find it, then the next thing you can do is you actually add a drop on the palm of the hand. Okay, you don't need to mix it in, and don't use the other hand. You want to make a fist, and you want to cut like this. And then you want to breathe it in. Really a whole lot. And I'm like, I'll tell you, it makes a difference in the lungs, okay? You're helping open up those airways so that they can get a breath. It's amazing. I've done this for people, and it's super powerful. Amazingly, it does work, And by the way, that 30 seconds is gone. Totally gone. Okay? So again, think about the liquids. Think about the rest that you're doing. Think about the foods that you're eating. Take away your high fats. Think about a supplementation that has vitamin D's in it and all the other nutrients that we need on a daily basis that we're not putting into our bodies. Make sure that you're thinking about not only the physical problems, but think about the emotional side. Where are you in your emotions? Can you put a check mark on them and say, I am not going to be that? How are you going to bring yourself back to a time when you can, get over that grief or get over that negative emotion? And understanding how the body works, understanding what you could put in your body, keep your body up to par. On Guard is something that, or the foods you eat, are something to help maintain the immune system so that when you do get sick, the duration is not so long. Now, I know I got started really late, and I know it's getting kind of late for everybody. And I appreciate you being on this call. And for those of you that are listening to the replay, thank you so much. Today was a challenge from day one because I don't know what was going on, but my computer was like, I am not doing anything. So I think it's time for my computer to go to the computer doctor. You guys have a wonderful day, and I always look forward to any kind of feedback that you have for me. And I do this every single Monday at 9 a.m. Pacific time. And I love having people with questions. If you have a question, just always reach out to me. The email address is heavensent, S-E-N-T, oil@gmail.com, heavenscentoil@gmail.com. I look forward to talking with everybody and helping you better understand how essential oils can be a part of your life and help you be better and well. You guys have a great week, and we will see you next week. So long.